All right, good to be here. I've been many times, I think 10 or 11 times. It's always good back to come see old friends and to an organization that's given millions of dollars to kids' health, and I do appreciate that, and we work a lot on that in Washington, D.C., so if anybody got any questions, be glad to answer them.
First, just talk about being here. I know you said you've been here several times, so I know this means so much to you. Just talk about the importance of just talking to, this here in this area and just talking about it.
Well, it's good to come as in a different light, not a coach, but I guess you'd call it a politician. I'm going to talk today a little bit about it, how we're trying to help the NIL, Title IX, some things that we're trying to do for the women's sports. So, but it's good to be here to see old friends, and it's good that we're getting pretty close to the Iron Bowl, the number one entertainment day of the year for the state of Alabama. Spent 10 Saturdays in that game, and what a game it is. So looking forward to that, and I will be there in 2 weeks.
I know you've been involved in NIL legislation, college sports stuff for a good bit now. I guess how optimistic are you that you might be able to get something done in the next session?
Well, we got no choice. I mean, something has to be done. We can't keep going down the direction we're going. Problem is, the Supreme Court gives the decision down, but there's no parameters, and now it's been the wild, wild west. I'm all for players making money, but we've got to make sure all players have an opportunity to make some money in college, that we don't run short on funds for Title IX, for women's sports and Olympic sports. We're headed in that direction. I'm always been for college athletes making money. The problem is the NCAA didn't step in early enough for dispersing revenue from the universities fast enough. And so the Supreme Court stepped in and said, you're making all this money, now we're going to allow players to make money, and it's kind of gone off the deep end from there. But we've been working probably for 3 years now on a bill. We got it done, but I couldn't get Senator Schumer to bring it to the floor. We're going to tweak it some. Again, it's not my bill. It came from coaches, ADs, presidents, NCAA, fans, parents, players, and we want to do it the right way. But again, I'm not against players making money, but we got to have some kind of penalty for players breaking contracts. It's got to go both ways if we're going to run athletics like this. So we'll continue to look at it, and once we get a new administration in, I'm going to get a couple of people on the Democratic side. Joe Manchin is not with us anymore, and so Ted Cruz will be in charge of the Commerce Committee, and that's where this bill will have to go through. And he's all for that. He understands it. We've talked many hours about it. So we'll start from the drawing board again, but we've got a blueprint that we can go from. Now we've got some people that really understand why we need to do something.
What kind of penalties are we talking about?
Well, going back, there's going to have to be some exceptions, but my thoughts are, you sign a contract on NIL. I mean, you can't just up and break it. I mean, if you want to sign a year, 2 year, 3 year, if you got a 3 year contract, you break it, there's got to be some kind of penalty. We'll have to go through all the rules and regulations when it comes to the Commerce Committee on that, but the one thing I do not want to do is Senator Schumer wanted to unionize all college athletes, and I'm not any way for that at all. So we can do it. We can do it the right way. Players can make money. We can just disperse, the revenue a little bit better to all athletes, not just a few. And then we can try to give the opportunity for schools to build programs like we used to, not just haphazardly every year going out and buying a new player, a new football team every year. And I don't mind players, if you got a 1 year contract, that's fine. But we've got to do something, kids in the transfer portal. Plus, we got to go back to what college sports is supposed to be about, education, and there's no education talked about anymore. So, and we can do that. We can get it done.
I know you talked to a lot of different college coaches. Is that the thing they're most frustrated about, like the breaking of contract, guys kind of coming and going?
Yeah, breaking contracts. I don't think that it's right to go out and start offering a $500,000 contract to a 10th grader at a high school. I don't think you should be able to recruit with money. I think you recruit with your school and and your salesmanship, but then you get there and then you give them the opportunity to make money. That's what name, image, likeness was about. It wasn't about go recruit somebody in the 9th grade with $500,000, and of course they're going to change their mind 2 or 3 times before they graduate. So we got to get some kind of continuity to it. And again, I'm not here to invent the wheel. We're going to do it. It's not going to be my bill. It's going to be a bill that comes from all the people that play a part in and a role in this.
You mentioned being at the Iron Bowl this year. How would you assess where Auburn football is right now?
Not very good. You know, that Auburn is struggling. Just consistency. There's times they looked a lot better, times that they hadn't been able to put a fourth quarter in, and they'd have won 3 or 4 more games. They've come short in the second half of a lot of their games. But that's just consistency. And again, it's a lot of new players, a lot of new receivers. Alabama, on the other hand, they've looked like they've steadily gotten better. I went to the Alabama-Georgia game with President Trump, and it was an interesting game. I'd never seen Alabama play that on that level. They look like they're 10 feet off the ground above Georgia the whole first half, and then it just totally flipped. Same thing on the other side. So Alabama's gotten much better. Auburn's going to have to play a good game. But the great thing about the Iron Bowl, it's played on emotion, and it's only 4 quarters. And so you try to hang in there like Auburn last year had a great chance to win the game. They lost on the last play of the game, and they weren't the best team. So it's always a fun game.
Are there any fond memories you think back on the Iron Bowl that just come to mind?
Pardon?
Are there any fond memories that you think about in the Iron Bowl that come to mind while you were coaching?
Yeah, when they were over with. I promise you, the Iron Bowl is not for coaches. It's for fans and for players. As a coach, you got the weight of all your fans on your shoulders, and you just can't wait to get it over with. You know, one way or the other. Hopefully, you win the game. I've got a lot of great memories, fun memories, sad memories. That was my last game to coach at Auburn when we lost to Nick Saban my second year. But it was a lot of good fond memories and a lot of good players on both sides, and it's a lot of fun. You know, college football coaching is a lot of fun. That game is just not a lot of fun until it's over with. And if you win the game, you get to ride around in your car. You don't have to wear a hat and sunglasses for 365 days. If you lose it, you do. You try to be incognito because that's how important it is in this state, and it should be. It's the #1 rivalry in college football.
Alabama's going for a fifth straight win. You guys did that.
Oh, my gosh, we got a break. We can't get to 6. We got a break. Yeah, I mean, that's hard to do. You know, I talk to somebody that knows. I mean, you keep putting them together, but you take them one at a time. I mean, it's home games are obviously advantage the home team, but it's again, it's just both teams will be sky high for that game, and Auburn will be just trying to make it to the second half and have an opportunity and hopefully pull something off like they did last year and came very close. Alabama's playing got a lot on the line, you know, a lot more than Auburn. Alabama's playing to get into the playoffs, and I guess they still have a chance to get the championship game. I haven't looked at it in the last couple of weeks, but their quarterback's coming on, and their defense has gotten a lot better.
So, quick question, just dealing with, like you talked about NIL earlier, and just talking about the things that, you know, university has to face now, trying to keep players there. As a former coach, what word or what positive things you can say towards coaches about just, you know, staying resilient and just still wanting to coach and, you know, take care of kids? Yeah, it's still about coaching, and it's still about players having to play. It's just harder to bring a newer group together every year. You know, 2004, 20 years ago, almost all my guys were seniors. I took that year off coaching. I just let them play, and it's a lot easier that way. Now, you're always going to have some different guys plugging in because you got transferring out and transferring in. And so it takes a different mentality, coaching now, because you just don't build a team. You pretty much buy a team now. And that was a little bit forbidden when I was in coaching, but now it's legal, and look at Indiana. They went out and bought them a football team, and look where they're at. They're playing Ohio State this week, possibly to play for a national championship, maybe in the Final Four. So Pittsburgh went out last year, and a lot of their players wanted a lot more money. The head coach says, "Y'all done, go somewhere else," and went out and bought another team. And a few weeks ago, I think he's either 7-0 or 8-0. I mean, it's just, you can get it done, but as Nick Saban says,
You can buy them. You better buy the right ones. They still got to be able to play.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.